This is The Process Shot. I'm Michael. I'm a victim of societal expectations, and I've seen Arthur, a romantic comedy drama from 1981 directed by Steve Gordon. Unsurprisingly, it follows a man named Arthur, whose status as a wealthy alcoholic playboy does not go unnoticed by the local press, his faithful but begrudging butler Hobson, or his parents. At the tender age of 30, he's given an ultimatum. Either he must marry the daughter of a friend and business partner to his father, or he will forfeit $750 million of inheritance. To complicate matters, Arthur has found somebody to love at long last. A waitress named Linda he saves from being arrested for shoplifting. With Hobson's help, Arthur must not only prove his love for Linda to his parents and to her, but he must also prove his own self-worth to the world. Despite the poshness and extravagance of its title character, this story is very much down to earth. It cuts almost immediately into his personal conflict, putting the overall themes of social pretense and personal happiness up front, ahead of any surface level or superficial ideas. There are a few notions of class divide thrown in for good measure, but ultimately it's more about keeping up an image and what others want you to be. You know, like a coming-of-age story, but about 15 years later. Anyways, the actual romantic story starts off a bit formulaic, but as things become more character-driven, it changes into its own thing. There end up being two relationships developed over the story, Arthur and Linda, of course, but also, to an equal extent, the relationship between Arthur and Hobson. While the former is romantic and the latter is familial, they both look to paint Arthur as someone defined by more than money and drinking and sleeping around and wasting his potential, whatever there may be. Arthur's personal story is essentially his inspiration and subsequent desire to grow on his own terms. Overall, this movie is more of a character piece, not only in the story but in the performances, with the three leads instantly memorable. John Gielgud as Hobson steals just about every scene he's in, not only showing a sense of restraint in his frustration of Arthur, but sympathy when he realizes the honesty in his actions. Much of the supporting cast is caricatured and simplistic, but it's for the comedy's sake, so that's no real big deal at all. Mostly though, the writing just knows how to sit back and let the chemistry between the actors take its course. The character-driven angle does take away a bit from the film's visual style though. Scenes are pretty flat, more on a level of realism over any other choice, keeping in line with the genre and allowing for the set design to come through with a number of neat little background details, making the world itself feel alive and populated no matter how little we see of an area. Cinematography and editing do offer a few visual jokes, but most of the humor ends up being through dialogue. Again, the performance and character-driven direction of the movie would explain that, but it still would have been interesting to see how far things could have been taken. If anything, the visuals do add to the contrast between Arthur's luxurious upbringing and his actual happiness, which I would say puts that element more in line with the dramatic side of the film and Arthur's character. It's a sentiment that's defined in the film's theme song, which literally states his conflict outright in the middle of a verse. In a way that's more just confirming the film's tone, not as a screwball comedy, but a more personal story, making this tale of a poor, old, rich man into something accessible for people of several different walks of class. At least I think that's what they wanted. Seems that way to me. Arthur. Steve Gordon, 1981. 4.5 stars. I definitely recommend watching this movie. Might be a good date night film. Maybe. That's it for the review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you have something to add, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. I was honestly expecting something a bit sillier from this, so it's nice to be surprised by the actual tone of the film. I don't get too many surprises these days.